Quem é a coisa mais linda de mãe?
Little Sarah Goij was born this January in Brazil, in the midst of a ravishing pandemic. Her 22-year-old mother naturally besotted with her precious princess.
Cadê essa neném? Cadê essa neném?
But even an abundance of love wasn't enough to stop her daughter from contracting COVID-19.
Acontecendo, então eu achava que foi algo.
I thought it was something I had done. Maybe I passed on the virus. I didn't know what was happening around me. I knew that the only thing I could do was to get on my knees and pray.
Despite all her pleas, little Sarah died. She was only 5 months old.
Mas quando ela faleceu,
When she died, when they gave us the news, I was able to hold her. I was able to feel her one last time.
It's a loss that is felt much more often in Brazil than in many other countries. While the Brazilian Health Ministry says 1,122 children under the age of 10 have died since the start of the pandemic, one research group argues the death toll is actually closer to 3,000. This year alone, more than 1,000 have lost their lives. And doctors tell us the Gamma or P1 variant first identified in Brazil may not be to blame.
Is that kids have been dying more in Brazil since the original variant was here. So it was not the addition of the P1 variable that made kids die even more than in other countries.
Despite the rising numbers, baby Sarah was only tested for COVID-19 12 days after she developed the first symptoms. Her mother tells me doctors assumed she had something else. A common misconception in Brazil, tells me pediatrician Andrela Rejeira.
A lot of pediatricians had a certain resistance when it came to requesting COVID-19 tests for children when they were exhibiting those typical symptoms on the respiratory tract. Runny nose, cough, fever. Practically all children have those symptoms this time of the year.
But Dr. Laranjeira says this alone doesn't explain the higher death rate across Brazil. Outside Márcia Braido Hospital on the outskirts of São Paulo, one family is counting their blessings.
Emocionada demais, feliz demais.
Her 9-year-old daughter Manuela is finally out of ICU after some 5 days on a ventilator having contracted COVID-19. Back at home, her parents reveal their ordeal.
Her kidney was no longer functioning. Her heart was beating irregularly. It was the end of the line for me.
We were desperate. Our world had collapsed.
They say it took 4 doctors to diagnose Manuela, but in the end she was admitted to an ICU and got the best possible treatment. But not all in Brazil can have access to this type of healthcare.
When you take the fatalities within the pediatric age group, more than 60% are from vulnerable socioeconomic groups. It's impossible to turn a blind eye to that.
Here, this disparity can be the difference between life and death. Between a family that gets to celebrate and one that's forced to mourn. Isa Suarez, CNN.
Hi, thanks for checking out the NTV Houston YouTube channel. Click over here to check out some other great pieces of content we've made for you. And also be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can get alerted whenever new videos come out.